Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Paul, and today we have a very interesting topic for beginners.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lena. We are happy to see you again. Today's topic is something many beginners feel nervous about.
Yes, today we are going to talk about how to talk to a girl in English in a simple and respectful way.
That's right. Many learners feel shy or confused about how to start a conversation, especially when talking to someone new.
So in this video, we will guide you step by step.
Yes, and don't worry, we will keep everything simple and easy for beginners.
Let's begin. Lena, when someone wants to talk to a girl in English, the first step is always the most difficult. Many beginners feel nervous and don't know how to start the conversation. What should they do first?
That's a very common problem, Paul. The first and most important step is to start with a simple and polite greeting. You don't need to say anything complicated. A friendly greeting is enough to begin the conversation.
So beginners don't need to worry about using big or difficult sentences in the beginning.
Exactly. In fact, simple greetings are the best way to start. For example, you can say, "Hi," "Hello," "Good morning," "Good afternoon." These are very basic, but they are used in everyday conversations.
That sounds easy, but many people still feel shy when saying even hi.
Yes, that's true. The problem is not the language, but the lack of confidence. Beginners often overthink and worry about what the other person will think.
So what should they do to overcome that fear?
They should remind themselves that a simple greeting is normal and polite. There is nothing wrong with saying hello. Also, they should try to smile and keep a friendly tone while speaking.
So body language is also important.
Absolutely. A smile makes you look approachable and confident. Even if your English is not perfect, your friendly attitude makes a good impression.
That's a great point.
Another useful tip is to follow the greeting with a simple question like, "How are you?" This makes the conversation more natural and gives the other person a chance to respond.
So a simple greeting plus a small question can start a conversation easily.
Yes, exactly. Beginners should remember that starting is the hardest part, but once you say that first, "Hello," everything becomes easier.
After greeting someone, the next step is to continue the conversation. What should beginners do next?
After greeting, the next step is to introduce yourself. This is a very important part because it helps the other person know who you are and makes the conversation more comfortable.
That makes sense. So how can beginners introduce themselves in English?
They should keep it simple. There is no need for long or complex sentences. For example, they can say, "My name is Alex. I am a student. I am learning English." These are short and easy sentences, but they are enough to introduce yourself.
That sounds very simple and useful.
Yes, and beginners can also add a little more information if they feel comfortable. For example, "My name is Alex. I am a student and I like reading." This makes the introduction slightly more interesting.
So adding small details helps continue the conversation.
Exactly. But beginners should not feel pressure to say too much. Even one or two simple sentences are enough in the beginning.
Many learners worry about making mistakes while introducing themselves.
Yes, and that's very normal. But they should remember that communication is more important than perfection. Even if there is a small mistake, the message can still be understood.
That's a very important mindset.
Another helpful tip is to practice your introduction at home. Learners can repeat their introduction daily so that it becomes natural and easy.
So practice helps build confidence.
Absolutely. When you practice your introduction many times, you don't need to think too much while speaking. It comes naturally.
That makes conversation smoother.
Yes, and once you introduce yourself, the other person will usually respond and introduce themselves too. This creates a comfortable and natural conversation flow.
Lena, after greeting someone and introducing yourself, many beginners don't know what to say next. The conversation often stops because they run out of ideas. How can they continue the conversation?
That's a very common situation. The best way to continue a conversation is to ask simple and polite questions. Asking questions shows that you are interested in the other person, and it helps keep the conversation going naturally.
So questions are very important in a conversation.
Yes, absolutely. A conversation is not just about talking about yourself. It is also about listening and showing interest in the other person.
That makes sense. So what kind of questions can beginners ask?
Beginners should start with basic and easy questions that are commonly used in daily conversations. For example, what is your name? Where are you from? What do you do? These questions are simple, polite, and easy to understand.
These are very useful for starting a conversation.
Yes, and learners can also ask light and friendly questions like, what do you like to do in your free time? Do you like music or movies? These types of questions make the conversation more interesting.
That sounds like a great way to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. But one important thing is to ask questions in a polite and respectful tone. The way you ask is just as important as what you ask.
That's a very important point.
Yes, and after asking a question, learners should listen carefully to the answer. Good communication is not only about speaking, but also about listening.
So conversation is a two-way process.
Exactly. When beginners learn to ask simple questions and listen properly, their conversations become more natural and comfortable.
Lena, sometimes beginners try to use very difficult words or long sentences because they want to sound impressive. Do you think that is a good idea?
Not really. In fact, trying to use complicated words can make speaking more difficult. The best approach for beginners is to keep the conversation simple and clear.
Why is simplicity so important?
Because simple English helps you speak more smoothly and confidently. When you use easy words and short sentences, you don't have to think too much, and your speech becomes more natural.
That makes speaking less stressful.
Exactly. For example, instead of trying to say a long and complex sentence, you can use simple sentences like, I like music. I enjoy talking. I am happy to meet you. These are easy but effective.
So communication is more important than using difficult vocabulary.
Yes, absolutely. The goal is to express your thoughts clearly, not to impress others with big words.
That's a very helpful tip for beginners.
Another important thing is to speak slowly and clearly. Many beginners try to speak fast, and that leads to mistakes.
So speaking slowly helps improve clarity.
Yes, when you speak slowly, you have more time to think and choose the right words. This also helps the other person understand you better.
That makes the conversation smoother.
Exactly. Beginners should remember that even simple sentences can create a good and meaningful conversation.
So confidence comes from clarity, not complexity.
Very well said. When learners focus on simple and clear communication, they feel more relaxed and confident while speaking.
Lena, we have talked about how to start and continue a conversation. But when talking to someone, especially a girl, what is the most important thing beginners should remember?
The most important thing is to be polite and respectful at all times. Good manners are more important than perfect English. Even if your sentences are simple, speaking politely creates a very positive impression.
That's a very important point. So behavior matters more than language level.
Exactly. Beginners should always use polite words like, please, thank you, nice to meet you. These small words show respect and kindness.
That sounds very simple but powerful.
Yes, and learners should also listen carefully and not interrupt when the other person is speaking. Respect is shown not only through words but also through behavior.
So being a good listener is also important.
Absolutely. Another thing is to avoid asking very personal or uncomfortable questions in the beginning. Keep the conversation light, friendly, and comfortable.
That helps create a safe and positive conversation.
Yes, and always speak in a calm and friendly tone. Even simple sentences can sound very nice if spoken politely.
So respect plus tone plus behavior is equal to good conversation.
Exactly. When beginners focus on respect, their confidence automatically improves. Lena, many beginners understand what to say, but they still feel nervous while speaking. How can they build confidence? Confidence is one of the biggest challenges for beginners. But the good thing is that confidence can be built with practice and the right mindset.
So it's not something you are born with.
Not at all. Confidence grows when you start taking small steps. Beginners should not try to be perfect. Instead, they should focus on speaking simple sentences regularly.
That makes it less stressful.
Yes, one of the best ways to build confidence is to practice speaking every day, even if it is just for a few minutes. The more you speak, the more comfortable you become.
So practice reduces fear.
Exactly. Another important thing is to accept mistakes. Many learners stop speaking because they are afraid of making mistakes.
That's very common.
Yes. But mistakes are a natural part of learning. Every mistake helps you improve. Instead of feeling embarrassed, learners should see mistakes as a learning opportunity.
That's a very positive way to think.
Also, learners can practice in front of a mirror or record their voice. This helps them become more aware of their speaking and improves confidence.
So small daily efforts lead to big confidence.
Absolutely. Confidence doesn't come in one day, but with regular practice, it grows naturally.
We have discussed many useful steps today. Before we end this conversation, Lena, what final advice would you like to give beginners?
I would say, keep things simple and natural. You don't need to use difficult words to have a good conversation. Focus on clear communication and respectful behavior.
That's a great message.
Also, remember that talking to someone is not about impressing them. It's about connecting and communicating. So be yourself and speak honestly.
That makes conversations more real and comfortable.
Yes, and most importantly, don't be afraid. Everyone feels nervous in the beginning, but with practice, that fear goes away.
So confidence comes with time and practice.
Exactly. Start with simple greetings, ask easy questions, and speak slowly. Over time, your English and your confidence will both improve.
That's very motivating.
Yes, and always remember, progress is more important than perfection.
Thank you so much, Lena, for sharing these helpful tips.
You're welcome. I hope this conversation helps beginners feel more confident while speaking English.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Keep practicing and keep improving. See you in the next video. Bye, everyone.